Hello! This will be a demonstration of Proposition 22 from Book 5 of Euclid's Elements, which says that if there be any number of magnitudes, and in other magnitudes equal in multitude, which taken 2 and 2 together are in the same ratio or are proportional, then they will also be proportional ex aequali. What we're given is 3 magnitudes A, B, and C, but this is just the simplest non-trivial case. This proposition holds equally true for 4 magnitudes or 5, but here we're just given 3. So we're given 3 magnitudes A, B, and C, and another 3 magnitudes D, E, and F. So they're equal in multitude, there's the same number of them, such that A is to B just as D is to E, and B is to C just as E is to F. And what we're going to prove is that A is to C just as D is to F ex aequali. So ex aequali in the Greek, this is di su, which means through the equal. So we're going through the equal term B to relate A and C directly, and likewise we're going through the equal term E to relate D and F directly. So again, what we're going to prove is that A is to C just as D is to F. We're going to begin by taking equal multiples of A and D. We're going to call these equal multiples G and H, so that the multiple that G is of A will be the same multiple that H is of D. And we will take other equal multiples, K and L, of B and E, so that the multiple that K is of B, L is of E. And finally, equal multiples of C and F, we're going to call them M and N, so that M is the same multiple of C, that N is of F. Now, knowing that A is to B, just as D is to E, we're given that information, and having made equal multiples of the first and third, and other equal multiples of the second and fourth, we can say by proposition 5-4 that G must be to K just as H is to L. So by proposition 5-4, if you have 4 magnitudes which are proportional, and equal multiples be taken of the first and third, and other equal multiples be taken of the second and fourth, then the multiple of the first will be to the multiple of the second, just as the multiple of the third is to the multiple of the fourth. So that's how we're going to get to the fact that G is to K just as H is to L. Now similarly, we can prove that K is to M just as L is to N. This would be simply by saying that because we were given that B is to C just as E is to F, and equal multiples of B and F have been taken, namely K and L, and other equal multiples of C and F have been taken, namely M and N, we can say again by proposition 5-4 that K is to M just as L is to N. Now, G being to K just as H is to L, and K being to M just as L is to N, then by proposition 520, if the first be greater than the third, then the fourth shall be greater than the sixth. If the first be equal to the third, then the fourth shall be equal to the sixth. And if the first be less than the third, then the fourth shall be less than the sixth. This is again proposition 520. So that we can say that if G is greater than M, H shall be greater than N. And if G be equal to M, then H shall be equal to N. And if G be less than M, H shall be less than N. But we know that G and H are equal multiples of A and D. We made them that way. And again, that M and N are equal multiples of C and F. And these equal multiples, G, M, H, and N, have this relationship as shown in the last step. Then we can say, by definition 5-5, the definition of proportionality, that because their equal multiples have this situation about them, we can then say that A is to C just as D is to F. And this is what we set out to prove, which means we are done with the proposition, therefore, etc. Q, E, D. This is another very important proposition like 5-11 and 5-16 and 5-7 and 5-9, so this is another one that you should just know. It comes up quite a lot. Other than that, I've got nothing to say about this proposition, so end the video here and move on to 523.